Jane Button, the Chief Executive of the National College of Creative Industries. How long have you been in this position, and how's it going?
Okay, well, it's actually a year and 1 month. So I joined the National College in July 2016. It's been quite a year, as you can imagine. It is a start-up college, national college, with all of the usual challenges to establish yourself in this space. But more significantly, we're here to serve our founding employers. So we are judged in 2 counts really in terms of our outcomes for learners. But then the next part of that is how well we're performing for our employers that have identified a skills gap. So I think that this year has been it's been fast-paced. We've moved a long way. We were incorporated on the 1st of September 2016, but at that stage I still was very much at building blocks, and although we did have students in the end of that month that started a level 4 diploma in professional practice in the creative industries, which is a qualification created by the University of Arts, London, awarding body. There was lots of other kind of organisational work that needed still to be done. So the Backstage Centre, which is where you are today, based in Thurrock, in Purfleet in Thurrock, it's been a critical part of the National College and was gifted to us by CC Skills, which is the Creative and Cultural Industries charity. That came into fore around February, and then really from February it took on another level of momentum, and we've secured our funding for our 5-year business plan, and I like to see last year as year 0 and this year as year 1.
So what's your, sorry to use X Factor language, what's been your journey to this position today?
Okay.
And what skill sets do you, I'm not interviewing you by the way, if
Sure.
you know what I mean for the job,
Yeah.
what skill sets do you bring?
Okay, so I suppose to make a longish story relatively short, I've been in post-16 education for 18 years. I trained as a teacher up in Leeds actually for post-16 education. My background is I'm an English graduate, and then I studied film at master's level once I became a teacher. I always wanted to teach in East London, so I took my first job was in Newham, which is the borough I grew up in, and I taught for 2 years before going into a start-up college in Hackney, which is a sixth form college called B6. Still obviously thriving today. The college, my first management job, I had no students, no staff, and no building. So that was my break, if you like, into management. I stayed there for 7 years, sort of worked my way up to head of faculty, took on more curriculum, cross-college management, and decided it was time to go and try working in a different place, because I absolutely loved it, but that can be dangerous, so you stay too long. So I moved on then to another sixth form college, Havering Sixth Form College, where I spent 3 years and was ended my time there in an exec role as an associate assistant principal, which then was the last part of my sixth form college career before I took a post as a director level at Lambeth College.
Coming here, is this quite a challenge or a great challenge, and why is it, if it is a challenge?
Okay, so I think that moving from, so I was a director for 4 years at Lambeth College in a, that is a large FE college, 3 sites, I don't know, around maybe 12,000 students on roll, and my role there was to oversee their journey, so first point of contact through to exit, alumni and their destinations. And that was an excellent training ground and an insight into leadership in a difficult context with real challenge that really took my ability to see myself different and how I could potentially step into future roles. Now, this position, when it came available, I saw it in the advertised in in the press, and I just looked at it and I thought, that's my job. It's in an area that I care about, it's in the subjects that I'm passionate about, and I've had experience of start-up college that was very successful, and I thought, whilst I'm not the only thing that college will need, I can bring an awful lot to the growth of a new college for the creative industries. And particularly, I think what attracted me, and I thought was a challenge, but it really seems to be a groundbreaking approach to education, was the employer-led nature of the piece. Because at Lambeth, we were very interested in working with employers and creating a curriculum that really responded to their needs and built their skills gaps, bridged the skills gaps, but very difficult to do, incredibly difficult to do for all of the kind of bureaucracy and the structures of education. And here was a college with a strategic ambition and the kind of leadership that I think they could do it. I think we really truly could have a responsive employer-led curriculum that meets the needs of the industry.
So what employers are leading here then?
Okay, so our founding employers are the Royal Opera House, National Theatre, Manchester Royal Exchange, Liverpool Philharmonic, Roundhouse, if I've said that, apologies, Equator, who's a media agency, Pell Fisher, who's another media agency, White Light, which is a big tech company, Live Nation, which is the kind of big music industry player, and importantly the role CC Skills have had in that, alongside ABTT, Ambassador Theatre Group, and BEC2, the industry sort of union representation. So we've got significant industry specialism there, world class in fact, that is saying to the National College that they have skills gaps in particular areas, backstage and offstage careers, that they can't find the right kind of staff. They're in a strange position as employers. They get maybe too many applications from the wrong or the same type of people. So part of it is diversifying the workforce and actually looking at people from different socio-economic as well as cultural backgrounds to enter the industry, which is an important part for their resilience for the future. And also to meet the demands of the creative industries, because the UK, it's a growth industry in the UK, and particularly as we know with the whole kind of, the city through to the coast, the whole Thames corridor and all the regeneration, where the leisure and entertainment and creative industries are playing a bigger part.
So how many students should you have, and how many students do you have?
So our ambition is to have 1,000 students in 5 years. As I said before, we're on our kind of year. This is our first real year. We have 30 students currently on roll. They're classroom based, and we have another 50 apprentices currently engaged in a number of different employers.
So you're like 900 students light at the moment?
Yes, that's correct.
That's your challenge, isn't it?
That is my challenge, yeah.
And that's, how are you going to meet that challenge?
Well, I think it's a set of different ways forward. I'm going to say that again. You can do what you want with that bit.
That's okay. Do you want to do the question again?
Yeah, go on.
So maybe you're about 900 students light, if you know what I mean. You've got this 5-year challenge. How are you going to get those 900 students?
Okay, I think there's a few layers to that. I think reputation is critical. So one of the key pieces of work that's ahead of us is ensuring that we are part of the education landscape, not only of Thurrock but of London wider, because we've got service to offer many different students. I think that ensuring that we are present in the council's thinking in Thurrock and beyond that and that we're seen as a key education provider for many students is critical. I think there is also a part of ensuring that the skills gaps and the job opportunities that are endorsed by the employers is a key part of our marketing and branding, and that message is in the schools and is in the education kind of circles, starting with big events such as Skills London, which is in November. It's a huge event. It's an annual event that happens just in the Excel in the Docklands. We've got a prime location, and we'll be seeing schools from right across London and on the outskirts of it. And I also think there's a piece in partnership as well, and ensuring, you know, what we're doing is something that is different. It is about technical education of a particular type in some very niche careers such as rigging, tour operating, programming for the creative industries. There is marketing involved in advertising, but again it is for companies such as Live Nation, and what would it look like for them. So there's some very bespoke curriculum that I think it is about sharing that message on a national and local scale and using different platforms and networks to get that through. I do genuinely believe that in transforming the lives of young people and adults, and what we have got, as we've touched on earlier, is a growing community, a changing community that will be looking for solutions for their careers and what's on their doorstep. And I think we've got a real role to play in that, in drawing some of the lines for and routes into industry that have been very difficult to find. You know, this isn't, you know, it's never easy, but training and study and preparation for careers is going on all around us. What our job to do is to say very clearly and in a huge way that there's real opportunities in this industry, in jobs you don't even know about, where employers are talking about crisis in recruitment that you can step into, but you need the right technical training. And I think if we can get those key messages out and we can deliver on an outstanding student experience, because it needs to be second to none, very different, then we stand, you know, we'll be in a good place.
Are the courses hard?
Of course. Yeah, you know, the technical education at level 4, we've had industry specialists coming in and teaching on its industry standards. Bec 2, the union, have come in and delivered some. We've had a chap, Steve Hutley, who came from Guildhall University, who was a long-standing tech theatre lecturer, come in and sort of oversee the modelling of our courses. We've also the Backstage Centre is a venue for rehearsal for the business. So we've had Matthew Bourne's company come here and do Red Shoes. We've got the National Ballet scheduled to come here in 2019. We have a number of music from Emily Sanders through to all kinds of modern artists. So working alongside the best in the actual business, that's what our students, they'll come to the Backstage Centre, and so they are actually have opportunities to observe technical rehearsals, support get-ins and get-outs. So it's hands-on learning. So what you need to understand is you need the skills, you need the safety, and then you need the attitude and aptitude to deliver within those job roles. And that's how it's a very much a hands-on situation. So in terms of, depends how you define hard and challenging, it's academically, yes, they will need to have a certain amount of evaluative, reflective skills as students so they can learn and grow, but it's more about can they make the grade, can they use follow spotting, can they rig safely, you know, can they follow a design plan by a lighting designer, and can they implement it. So there's those kind of skills. But I think, just to touch on something around the type of students though, is that these students, they will come with a different kind of interest and abilities that, you know, I'm not looking at academic students that should be studying biology, physics and chemistry. They need to study those subjects if they're academic. These are for students with hands-on ambitions to be in the workforce and to experience travel maybe and to go on tour. So it's a different skill, you know, it appeals to a different students.
Are these courses unique? If you don't go here, where else could you go to do these courses?
Lots of colleges. Well, there are colleges locally and beyond that will have technical theatre courses. That is not unique. Our uniqueness is the employers that actually support and will stand by the standard of education we're delivering, and that's what makes us stand out. Now, in saying that, we are the only college currently offering the UAL Level 4 diploma that I mentioned, and we are the only college approved to do so. So that is a unique course, and that course is over 3 units, of which they spend the first unit getting it up to industry standard. The second unit is a really intensive work placement, and the third unit is their own private study. It's like an individual project where they reflect on their practice and they prepare for their first job in the industry. So that bit, in terms of that qualification, that is a unique space that we're in. But ultimately, there are many colleges that will be exploring the backstage and offstage kind of careers, if you like, but they won't be doing it in line with employers in the way we are, and that does make us unique.
So finally, we come back in a year's time, as we often do with a lot of people. What's your hopes that we're looking at in a year's time?
In a year's time, you should see a slightly refurbished backstage centre. In a year's time, the room that you're in today hopefully will have plenty of students in it, because this I see to be the student space. And we will be, we will have the plans. We will be on site on the new build by then, and it will be on shovel ready, and we should see some people with JCBs and the like making some holes in the ground. And I think we should have also seen our employer network grow, and the launch of leadership and management apprenticeships in the creative industries. So that's what you should see when you come back in a year's time.
Jane, thank you very much for your time.